Yo, what up, people? So, this is another episode of Bus Simulator Story Time with yours truly. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to say something. When did I get a bendy bus? When the hell did I get one of these bendy buses? Okay, I have no idea when I got one of these. Alright, but I love these things. I freaking love these things. Okay, when I was playing the other save on my laptop, I used the bendy bus for everything. Okay, I used the bendy bus for everything. All right. um, now there are some spots on the map where using a bendy bus is like not really a good idea, right? Because like there's a lot of like tight fits, you know. But honestly, I didn't really care. I didn't really care. I use the bendy bus everywhere because I just love using it. So drop any route until you get payday. All right. All right. So this episode we are doing middle school. Okay. This episode we're doing middle school. All right. Now, before I get into middle school, however, I want to say a couple more things about elementary. Okay. So, uh, wait, what did I want to say about elementary? I forgot. Um, what did I want to say about elementary? Oh, wait, no, no, that's middle school. All right. So anyway, so, uh, so the girl from middle school, or the girl from high school, Sophia, right? She was supposed to be in one of my middle school classes, right? She was supposed to. Um, I heard the teacher call her name during attendance, right? um, However, she didn't show up. Okay, she never showed up to school, not to the class, but just like in school in general. School in general, she never showed up. So, I thought um, that okay, it's the first day of school. Um, people sometimes people are like they might be on vacation, you know. It might uh, it might take them a few days to like actually get to school, you know. um so I thought just give it a few days, she'll be here on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, right? So oh, so uh Tuesday came, she wasn't there. Wednesday came, she wasn't there. All right. Um, Next week came, she still wasn't there. Right. So I thought, okay, you know what? Even if she's not here, I don't mind it. Okay, I don't mind it. I thought that when I heard her name, um, on the when I heard her name on the the attendance sheet, I thought that, ooh, I have a class with her. Maybe I could like not have a second chance, right? But like maybe like sort of explain my actions during middle school. Always meant wrong term. I thought that maybe I could explain my actions during middle school, right? Because like I said it in the last story time, I was kind of a weird kid. I was kind of a weird kid, so yeah, I thought I could explain my actions during elementary, but she never showed up. So so anyway, with middle school, right? With okay, for sixth grade, there was this girl. Okay, she up until then, she was the prettiest girl I'd at one. Uh, Up until then, this girl was the prettiest girl I was one of the prettiest girls I had ever seen. Okay. Um. Now this girl, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. She had a massive forehead. Okay, a massive forehead. That thing was huge. Okay. And a lot of people would like say she's unattractive for that, but it didn't really bother me. It didn't really bother me. Her having a massive forehead didn't bother me, like at all. Um, and so I, we had a second period together. Okay, second period was reading. Okay, and she had a friend in the class. Okay, her classroom friend was Evelyn. All right. Pause. Pause. The balance route between districts of Oakwood, West Oakwood, Highlander. Where's Highlander? Oh. Oakwood, West Oakwood. Okay. Perfectly balanced. Oh, yeah. I remember this. Okay. Alright. So it has to be balanced. It has to be like 4 to 4 or 5 to 5. Okay. So. Ooh. Wait. Wait. Hmm. Alright. You just have to get a payday, so just drive through with them. Okay. So. So yeah, there's this girl, Alice. Alright, massive forehead. She had a friend in the class, Evelyn. Now, Evelyn knew that I liked her. Okay, or Evelyn knew that I liked her friend. Alice knew that I liked her. Okay. Um. Okay, so. Oh my god. Okay, this brings back some memories. Okay. So, um, I think this was sometime in October, or this is early in the year, early in the school year. Yes, probably like October, November, somewhere around there. So, I asked out Alice. Okay, so I gave her a no. Okay, so what happened was we were in the computer lab. Okay, doing some online stuff. Okay, and I was sitting next to her friend. Okay, and me and her friend get to talking. Me and her friend are. Her friend asks me when you're gonna ask out Alice. I said I might do it right now. Right, so I get out a piece of paper, right, and I write down, will you go out with me, yes or no, right? I give it to Alice's friend to give to Alice, right? um Now, this was in second period. Okay, we had lunch after this. Okay, class ends. Me and Alice don't talk to each other. We don't like look at each other. Class ends, and we both just go straight to lunch. Okay. Um. Now, at lunch, I'm sitting at my usual table, right? Eating lunch. Lunch. I'm sitting at my usual table, eating lunch, minding my business. Right. Actually, I'm going to turn that audio. Not too low though. Okay, so yeah, I'm sitting at my table, eating lunch, minding my own business. Right. One of Alice's friends, one of Alice's older friends, right? This older friend was, I think, like, eighth grade. I think she was eighth grade. Um, One of Alice's older friends come up to me and says, "What?" She gets into my face and starts, bro. She gets into my face and starts saying stuff like, "What did you do? What did you do, bro?" Like she just ran out in front of me. Stop, pedestrians! She ran out in front of me. Okay, so yeah, Alice's friend gets all up in my face, starts saying, "What did you do? What did you do?" Starts like freaking out, basically, right? So I'm just, I played dumb. Yeah, I played dumb. I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything, right? And then, um, uh, days go by, weeks go by. I hear nothing from Alice, right? She didn't give me back the paper. She didn't like tell me herself in person. Um, I didn't. None of her friends told me anything. I just like just radio silence, right? Um, Come to fight later, I find out that Alice actually has a boyfriend. Okay, now, okay. I found out that Alice has a boyfriend, but honestly, I think that was bullshit. I think that was bullshit. Because if Alice had a boyfriend, then Evelyn would have told me she had a boyfriend, right? Evelyn would have told me because Alice and Evelyn they're not best friends, but they're really good friends, right? So Evelyn would have told me that Alice has a boyfriend, right? So if Alice really did have a boyfriend, then great why didn't one of her really great friends not tell me about this boyfriend that she supposedly had. Okay? And one day um I'm in the lunchroom again, eating lunch, minding my own business, and I look over and I see Alice. I see Alice come from behind this guy and hug him from behind, right? I'm thinking, okay, that must be the boyfriend that everyone is talking about, right? But, why, like, it's it's November, right? It's November. Why hadn't I seen this before, right? I, I'm just there like, I, they must have just recently started dating. Like, there's no way they've been dating this whole time. There's absolutely no way. They must have they must have just started dating like not long ago. Pause. Let's just read first. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, so she had a boyfriend I didn't know about. And honestly, I think that boyfriend was just bullshit. I think she was she knew where I sat in the lunchroom, and I think she was just pretending to have a boyfriend just so she didn't have to like confront me, you know? She didn't have to like give me back the note or say no to the date. I think she just pretended to have a boyfriend just so she didn't have to like do anything in person, you know, just so she didn't have to say no, right? Um, which on one hand on one hand I don't really understand, right? Why not just like tell me, you know? I mean, at the same time, we are in elementary school, or no, middle school. At the same time, we are in middle school, so yeah. At the same time, we are in middle school, so um, there aren't really like be an adult. Like we're be an adult. Use your words. Tell him directly. Like this is not. This is middle school. We're not adults. So. So. Um. So yeah. So in middle school, I started to doing. I started doing something in middle school. Right. Pause. Get paid to journey across the Chinatown. Okay. Drive a route, basically. All right. So. I started doing something in middle school, right? Something that I thought of myself. I think people have done this before, but I haven't like heard of it, right? Um, I thought of this myself. I would get a bag of Hershey's Kisses, right? I'll go up to someone and say, "Hey, do you want a kiss?" Right? And then when they say, "Ugh, no," I would pull out a handful of Hershey's Kisses and just say, "A kiss." Like I, what did I say? Oh, I said I would pull out a handful of Hershey's Kisses and say, "A kiss." What, you thought I meant something else? I was just offering you a Hershey's Kiss. I thought of that joke myself. Then more people started to do it later. Um, so in okay, do I have any other sixth grade stories, bro? Bro, you saw me turning. You saw me turning, yet you still went. Okay, do I have any other sixth grade stories? Ooh, in sixth grade, there's this guy. There's this guy, Armani. Right? I wonder where he is now. There's this guy Armani in sixth grade. Okay. He was big like me. He was lighter skinned. He wore glasses, and he was at first he was like a good kid, you know, quiet, I guess. Um, but then I don't know what happened, but something happened where he just, I guess nowadays you'd call what he did, he crashed out basically. He crashed out and then he wasn't removed from any classes, but he sat like in a separate desk away from the rest of the class, you know. Um, I wonder where he is now. I didn't. He went to another school in seventh grade, so I didn't see him in seventh grade. So, um, and there's this other guy. His Curvins. His name was Curvins. He was darker than me. He was so much darker than me. Um, and nobody really liked him. Nobody really liked him. This might be no, this is rude, but he he kind of looked weird. He kind of looked weird. That I know that's rude to say, but it's the truth. He really did look weird. Um, yeah, nobody really liked him. I remember this one time he showed up to class. This is seventh grade. No, this is sixth grade. Seventh period. He showed up to class with a basketball, right? Everyone started to ask him where he got that basketball from, right? And he said that it was his personal basketball. It was a basketball that his parents bought him, right? And when he said that, nobody believed him. Dude, listen to what's it called? No, what? Okay. Opera. That's what it's called, opera. So yeah, he said that it was his personal basketball that his parents bought him, but nobody believed him. Um, Everyone thought that everyone kind of collectively knew that he stole the basketball from PE. Okay. Wait. Oh yeah. Everyone collectively knew that he stole the basketball from PE. Okay. And nobody already, people already didn't really like him, but the oh, change reduce that contains upper district and pizza points. Wait. Pause. Route 3. Change reduce that contains upper district and that word peak segments. Okay. There we go. At night, 19. Okay. So, Bendy Bus again, telling I love these things. Alright. So third stop, yeah. Okay, so anyway. What was I saying? Okay, so yeah, people already didn't really like him, and the fact that he just lied and claimed that something that wasn't his was actually his, people like started to not like him. The people started to dislike him even more. So, you're not gonna come in, bro? Right. Oh, okay. Whatever. So yeah. So, any other sixth grade stories? Not really. Let me think. Ooh, okay. So in sixth grade, I had this class. It was a computer. I don't think it was computer science. It was business. I think it was business, and it was a classroom full of computers, right? And that so this is the grade that we at not just the classroom but the whole school knew of a way to get Halo. Okay, Halo multiplayer. Okay, I think it was like Halo.exe or something like that. I don't know. But and it was in this grade where everyone started to play Halo, right? And this class was the place to do it because one, there's so many computers in the class, and two, there are like spots in the classroom where the teacher like couldn't see what you were doing, you know, and there are spots in the classroom where the teacher couldn't see what you were doing, and people were like not fighting but like trying to like get these spots, you know. um I got unlucky and I got a spot. Well, actually no, at the beginning I was lucky. West Oak High Street. This is West Oak High Street. You don't even know where you're at, bro. Anyway, at the beginning I was lucky. Me and two other of my friends, uh, we were lucky and got 14, 15, and 16, right? We got computers 14, 15, and 16, and those three computers were basically in the perfect spot, right? They were basically in the perfect spot where the teacher couldn't see what we were doing, right? So sometimes we ignore the work and just play Halo, right? But then that teacher, I don't know what happened to her. I think she left. But that teacher, something happened to her, and we got like a substitute, right? And the substitute moved us around, and I was unlucky and got a computer that was in direct. Uh, this computer, she had a direct line of sight from her desk to my computer, right? So my other two friends were having a blast playing Halo, while I'm just there, just actually doing the work, you know, because the I got unlucky and the teacher gave me a computer that she has a perfect line of sight from. So, um, I did try to play Halo. Um, I did try to play Halo. I had to. Oh, wait. Gold Island. No way. Pause. Connect two routes. Transit terminal AH. Shut up. Transit terminal. Ooh. Ashen PM. Two separate routes? Oh man. They don't have to be even. Festival. Raise this to a 2. So I just have to go around Highland Perfect. No, I'll make a separate route around Highland. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mhm. Ooh, wait. God. Okay. All right. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Um. Hmm. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. Let's think. What's going on here? I forgot what I was saying. Hmm. Um. Shit. Let me think. What was I saying? Oh. Oh yeah. So I was unlucky. The substitute teacher put me in a at a computer that she had a direct line of sight of, and then so yeah, I did try. I sometimes did try to play Halo. However, I had to play like sitting up, you know, because I was a big person. I, I was a big guy, so um, I knew that I could block the screen if I sat up. So that's what I did. I sat up to try to block the screen, but that also looked suspicious from her part. So whenever I did do that, she would always come over to see what I was doing, right? And the guys next to me would always start laughing. So yeah, I kind of felt left out, but whatever. So what else? What else? What else? Ooh, okay. So, oh, it got to a point where the school started to the school like blocked Halo, right? So in order to get Halo, we had to uh, Google something, and then we had to download Halo.exe or something. Yeah, you had to download Halo.exe or something like that, and then the school found out. Um, the school figured out how to do it themselves, so they said, "Okay, you know what? Let's block this uh let's block this search from Google, right? Let's block this search, or wait, no, they blocked the download, right? They they blocked the download, so yeah, they blocked the download, so we couldn't like we could still Google it, but we just couldn't download it, bro. But like, it, um, but then we found a loophole to that, a VPN, right? There was a free VPN that everybody started using. I think it was called like it was Siphon. It was Siphon. How do I remember this stuff? The VPN that we used was called Siphon. Okay, it was Phison. I think that's what it was. Um, so we started using that, and like we could start playing. We could like play Halo again, right? Oh. So, but then next year, the next school year came, and like Siphon was blocked, right? And so now Siphon is blocked. Now we can't use Siphon to download Halo, right? So now Halo actually was dead, right? Halo actually was dead. So um, yeah. So there was this time, right, where there's this time where it was, I think it was, yeah, it was sixth grade. Uh, wait, yeah, it was. So, bro, go. Okay, probably did pull out too far. But anyway, there's this time after lunch, I went to class, right? Oh my gosh, I went. Oh my gosh, it's bringing back so many memories. Oh my god. Um, there's this time I after lunch, sixth grade. I went to use the bathroom, right? And there were these two kids fighting in the bathroom, right? So I went to use the bathroom. I open the door to the bathroom. I see them fighting, right? And I say to the teacher, "They're fighting! They're fighting! They're fighting!" Right? The teacher opens the door and like tells the boys to stop fighting and to come out the bathroom, right? And I, I'm just standing there watching all of this go down, right? And so the teacher, or wait, no, the kids come out the bathroom and start like um threatening me, saying I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna beat you up. We weren't fighting, we were shadow boxing or whatever the fuck's called. Um, and in my head, I'm just like, it, I don't care what you call it. You shouldn't be like doing that. Period. You know, I didn't actually say that to him, right? But I did think it though. I did think it. It doesn't matter what you call it. Fighting is fighting is fighting. You can call it shadow boxing. You can call it slap boxing. It doesn't matter. Fighting is fighting, and you shouldn't be doing it. Period. Okay. So yeah, so they said that they're gonna beat me up. They said that they're gonna like hit me. They didn't do any of that. Um, but you know who wanted to fight me though? Alice's supposed boyfriend. Okay, so what happened was, yeah, what happened was Alice's boyfriend found out that I asked her out, right? And he wanted to fight me. Okay, understandably, you know, a guy asks your girlfriend out on a date, you'd want to like confront him, you know. But in my defense, in my defense, I didn't know she had a boyfriend. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. That's why I asked her out in the first place. I thought she didn't have a boyfriend, right? What? Like, what? Bro. See, that's one of the things I hate about this game, bro. Like, you, like, walked into me, man. Like, you were walking off the platform, first of all. You weren't even on the platform, you weren't on the road, okay? You walked into me. I didn't hit you, you walked into me. Alright? Anyway. So yeah, Alice's boyfriend wanted to fight me. And I understand why he wanted to fight me, but I just... First of all, I was never gonna fight, okay? He wanted to fight me, I was never gonna fight, period, right? I was just gonna walk away, right? I don't care what people said, I don't care what people did, okay? I just didn't want to fight, so I wasn't gonna fight, okay? They could call me names, I really don't care, man. I really don't care. Call me names, go ahead. I don't care, I'm not gonna fight. So... yeah, but, so he wanted to fight me, but nothing came of it. Nothing came of it. I just heard a rumor that he wanted to fight me, but nothing came of it. And besides, I don't think that he was her boyfriend anyway. Again, I'm pretty sure she just pretended to have a boyfriend so she didn't have to, like, confront me. You know, so... yeah. Okay, so all of that was 6th grade. Alright, 7th grade. 7th grade, I got a friend. Okay? I got a friend. His name is Ronald. Okay? I am still... well, I won't say friends. We're more like... acquaintances, you know? We don't really talk often, right? I have him on Instagram. I have him on... oh my gosh, I have him on Instagram, but I haven't like talked to him in like months. Right? Probably about a year now. Because we're both at different points in life, right? He's he has a girlfriend. I'm pretty sure he's in the military right now. He's in the military. He has a girlfriend, right? He's doing good for himself, right? Here I am, single, playing video games, talking about doing a story time while playing Bus Simulator, right? He's doing very good for himself, and here I am, right? So, yeah. So yeah, 7th grade, I got a friend, Ronald. So 7th grade, I met this guy, Darian, and oh my god, Darian. So, Darian, right? He was gay, okay? I didn't really care. But this one time, the PE teacher sent me to the storage room to get some extra basketballs, right? Darian asked the PE teacher if he could come with me, right? At this point, at this point of the year, no, it doesn't. At this point of the year, I was sort of annoyed by Darian, okay? he was my friend, but I honestly didn't want to be friends with him anymore. Okay, I was very annoyed with him. Okay. Um. Oh, damn. I was very annoyed with him. Right. And so the teacher asked him. He Darren asked the teacher if he could come with me to the storage room. Right. The teacher said yes, so we both went to the storage room. Right. Darian, while we were in the storage room, Darian asked me for a kiss. Right. He asked me, "Can I have a kiss?" Right. At this point, I told Darian about a homosexual experience I had in daycare. Okay. Oh my gosh. While I was in elementary school, I had a daycare that I went to after school. Right. Me and this other kid went to me and this other boy went to the bathroom together, and shit happened. Okay. I told Darian about this, and he basically just took that and ran with it, right? So he came to the storage room with me and asked me if he could have a kiss. Bro, what? Whatever. He asked me if he could have a kiss, right? I said no. He kept begging and pleading, right? I kept saying no. I eventually thought, I started thinking about it. Like, should I do this? Should I not do this? Like, what should I do here? I eventually just said, no, it's not happening. Okay. Now, I said no, and that was that. Okay. We. Nope, wrong button. I said no, that was that. We got the basketballs and went back to class. Okay. Now I have a suspicion. Okay, because after this happened, my friend Ronald told me that he heard a rumor, right? A rumor that said I was kissing boys. Okay. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that Darian started this rumor, right? Because Darian, remember, Darian asked me for a kiss, right? I said no. So I'm assuming Darian got upset that I said no to him, right? And so he started the rumor as an act of revenge for not giving him the kiss, right? And I assured my friend Ronald that that did not happen. I did not kiss any boys. Believe me, I did not do that. Believe me. And so I started thinking, right? If Ronald heard that rumor, then that means like everybody else heard that rumor as well, right? Open doors. What? Damn. If Ronald heard that rumor, then someone else must have heard that rumor, right? So now I'm thinking, like, all of my friends and basically the entire school thinks that I'm kissing boys, right? Alice thinks that I'm kissing boys, right? Again, I did not kiss boys. It was Darian. Darian started the room, right? Now in the lunchroom, in 7th grade, I had a different seat in 7th grade, right? My seat had a clear view of Darian's seat, right? And so sometimes I'd catch Darian looking over at me, right? And this one time, the cafeteria was serving wings, right? I was eating peacefully, minding my own business, right? I look over at Darian, and I see Darian looking at me, right? And God, fucking hated him. I see Darian looking over at me, and with basically his whole posse, right? And um, I don't. So I didn't hear him say this, but I didn't hear him say this, but I'm pretty. I read his lips. I read his lips. He said, "That's just nasty." Okay. He was commenting on the way that I was eating chicken wings, and I'm just like, "They're wings, bro. They're chicken wings. How else are you supposed to eat them? How else are you supposed to eat chicken wings, bro?" Moving on. So this was seventh grade was the year that I started band. Okay, I started band. Band was band was ooh fifth. Band was fifth period, I think. Yeah, band was fifth period because I had lunch after third period. Then after third period, I'd go into this hallway. Then after wait, I had lunch after third period. After lunch was fourth period. For fourth period, I go into this hallway. Then I remember going into this hallway for fifth period. Yeah, I had band fifth period, and I played the clarinet. I played the clarinet. Um, I was in beginning band, and so it was. I I was I didn't like it per se. I was content with it, right? I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I was just okay with it, you know. Um, but this is also the year that I started being known as the snack guy, right? So basically, I bring food to school every day, right? Every day I bring food to school, all right? Whether it be cookies or chips or some other kind of snacks or just straight up candy. I became known as the food guy because I'd always have something, right? Every day I always have something. Okay, and uh, was this seventh grade? I think this. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, this was seventh grade. Yeah, this was seventh grade. Okay. Wait, was it? No, it was. Oh shit! Damn. This is seventh grade. I can't remember if this was seventh grade or not. I can't remember if this was seventh grade or not. I think it was. Was it? I genuinely can't remember. Alright, pause. C and G. Wait, oh, this is the garage. Oh, this is a depot. I need the dealership. PNG. Okay. Connect Gold Island. Connect to Gold Island and Highlander Park. Okay. Alright. Cool. So let's just drive the route now. Okay. So I can't remember. Okay, I gotta piss. BRB. Jeez, I gotta hurry this up. I'm only on 7th grade. I gotta. I work today. Yeah, I work today, and I have to ride my bike to work today, so I have to like leave earlier. So anyway, so I can't remember if what's the time to. Only 2 stops left. I'll finish it. So with band, I was content with band, right? Oh well. Yeah, I was content with band. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I was just okay with it. Man, right? So Alice was also. I think she started band in 6th grade. I started band in 7th grade, right? I started band in 7th grade. I think she started in 6th. So she loved band. She played the trombone. I'm pretty sure. She played the trombone, and I think she loved band. She loved band. I didn't love it. I was just content with it. I was in band in 8th grade as well. Honestly, by 8th grade, I was just kind of over it. My teacher told us that we were supposed to be practicing our instrument for at least an hour at home. Yeah, I wasn't doing that. I just didn't really care for it. So, so also in 7th grade, I met this guy, Jared, okay? Jared, I think Jared has something going on with him. Not like autism, okay? I think he had a little speck of autism, right? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure though, okay? I wasn't sure, but I'm pretty sure he did have it. Okay. I didn't notice it back then. Honestly, back then I didn't really know what autism was, but now, um, looking back on it now, I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he did, and he might have said he might have told me himself that he does have it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he had it. um, this guy Jared, he was a drawer, right? An artist. I'm pretty sure, yeah. He was an artist. He was artistically gifted. Okay? And he had a Xbox account, right? I'm not gonna say his Xbox name. Well, I don't think he. I wonder where he is. Oh, I wonder where he is. It's not. Oh. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm not making this turn. I'm not making this. No. Fuck traffic rules. Let's just do this. Bro, really? You see me right here, right? Really? You see me? Okay. Poggers. Anyway. Yeah, Jared was artistically gifted. He had an Xbox account. He's been, okay, so you know on Xbox, you know on, bro. It's cool. We Gucci. So you know on Xbox, you have the offline function, right? Appear offline, right? So this guy, oh, also, you know, do not disturb on iPhones, right? People who have like do not disturb on constantly, they're called D&D warriors, right? This guy Jared, he was an offline warrior. All right, he was offline. He was appearing offline 24/7. Okay, I don't really see what's the. I mean, I on one hand, I can kind of see the use of appearing offline, but at the same time, I kind of don't. If you're using offline to try to stay away from like people, like why not just like unfriend them? You know, block them, unfriend them. You know, or just say I don't want to be a friend anymore. You know. But anyway, um, he was an offline warrior. Okay, so I had 7th period art with him, right? That's see, doing that like makes you lose you lose speed quicker if you do that. Okay, so yeah, I had 7th period art with him, right? Now this art class, okay, this art class in 7th period, 7th grade. We first had I don't know where she was. She was Venezuelan, Colombian, something like that. Something somewhere from South America. Um, and she didn't really speak English that well, but she was our art teacher. God knows why. I don't think she knew much about art anyway. So she sat us with 2 other girls that were a grade higher, that were a grade above us, right? Me and Jared were both in 7th grade. These girls were in 8th grade. Okay. Their names were Kia and Mary. Okay. Kia and Mary. All right. Mary was your typical alt. What? Oh, Mary was your typical alt girl, right? Wait. Oh, sorry. Okay, so yeah, Mary was your typical alt girl, right? Black eyeliner, black boots, piercings, rings, all that kind of stuff, right? It's just everything black, right? And she had green. Okay, and she had green hair. Interestingly enough, bro. Huh? All right. So it was me, Jared, Kia, and Mary all at one table. Okay. Now I started to develop feelings for Kia. Okay. I told Jared, and Jared told Kia. Right. Now I told Jared not to tell Kia, but Jared told her anyway. Right. And me being the person that I am, being awkward and anxious, right? I, instead of being there when he told her, I went to the bathroom, right? I went to the bathroom, he had told her, I came back to the bathroom, she said, I only see you as a friend, okay? Fair enough, right? I mean, to be fair, like, she's a grade above me, right? Which, understandable. So, imagine she went into high school saying, yeah, I'm dating a middle schooler. What? Huh? What did you say? Yeah. Yeah, that would have looked and sounded bad. So, yeah, I have good memories from that, class. I have good memories from that class. Um, Bruh, that's my fault. I just want you to know, me driving in this game is it's not reminiscent of like me driving in real life. Okay, first of all, I can't drive, period, right? And even if I could drive, I wouldn't drive like this. Okay, this is a video game, all right? Um, so later in the year, we got a new teacher, right? We got a new teacher, a teacher that actually knew what she was doing, right? And this new teacher moves the class around, right? So now I am so wait, Mary, Jared, and Kia are all at these are all. Okay, so the new teacher basically realized that I'm the problem, right? Which I didn't really agree with, but okay. The the new the new te- the new teacher thought that I was the problem, right, and moved me, right? She left Kia, Jared, and Mary alone and just moved me, right? So now Kia, Mary, and Jared are all like at the same table just talking, while I'm a table behind them, just like listening in on their conversation, just watching them have a good time, right? um, but me and Jared still sat at the same lunch table, so I guess that was okay. Um, so moving on. Uh, so seventh grade. Remember? Hold on. All right. So anyway, what was that thing? uh, okay. So I asked. Remember, I asked out Alice in 6th grade. I asked out, bro. Really? Like, what? Like, what this? What? Am I stuck on something? All right, bro. What? Oh, okay. So, what was I saying? I keep forgetting, man. um. Okay, so yeah, I asked out Alice in 6th grade. Remember? So in 7th grade, I asked out another girl. Okay. This shit. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So 7th grade, I asked out this other girl. Okay. Mariah. Okay. Now, Mariah. 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 She was pretty. She was a pretty girl. But she wore pounds and pounds of makeup. Okay. She wore so much makeup. Okay. Now, I didn't really understand why she wore so much makeup. I mean, this is middle school. We're in 7th grade. Do you really need what middle schooler wears makeup? What middle schooler wears makeup, right? I think she said she wakes up an hour early just probably not. Well, actually, yeah, maybe an hour. She wakes up an hour early just to like put on the makeup. I'm like, why? Well, you're in 7th grade. Why do you need makeup? You know. But anyway, um, she had so much acne, bro. She had so much acne. She had pimples all over her face, which is probably why she wore so much makeup. To be honest. Um, but anyway, now this girl, Mariah, she was one of those girls that developed early, okay? And a lot of the boys, like the 6th grade boys, even the 8th grade boys, remember this is 7th grade, so the boys that were a grade above her, the boys that were going into high school, because she developed early, she was getting attention from all the boys in the school, right? um, she developed early, so she had a large chest. Okay, so she was getting attention from all the boys in the school. All right. Now I overheard one of the boys say that she was ugly, but I'm gonna date her for her chest, right? Like word for word. Okay, I remember this. Okay, I have a great. Okay. um. What was the word? Contrary to what you might think, I have a great memory. Okay, this boy said this word for word. Okay, she's ugly, but I'm dating her for her chest. Okay, that's exactly what that's exactly what he said. Okay, and all of the boys in the school just collectively agreed that she was ugly. Basically, okay, they all collectively agreed that she was ugly, but she had a big chest. So all the boys were fighting over her because of her big chest. Okay, but they all thought she was ugly. Right? Back then, she okay. This is rude, but I'll say this is accurate of back then. She had a butterface. Okay, a butterface. Right? She had a not so appealing face, but a great body, right? That's what a butterface means, right? Anything but her face, right? Ugly face, great body. All right, anything but her face. Okay, but her face. That's it might sound rude, but that's what it basically was back then. Okay. And me being, of course, being a teenage boy, I also liked the chest, right? But I actually found her. I actually thought she was really pretty as well. I genuinely, I thought she was really pretty. I looked past the makeup. I looked past the large amounts of acne. I looked past the pounds of makeup. I actually thought she was really pretty. Um, you know what I did? I asked her out. Yeah, I asked her out. How did I do it? Ooh, okay. So it was I had math class with her. What period was it? I don't even know. I think it was. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know. But I had math class with her, and one of her friends, Keandra. Oh my God, Keandra. Keandra. Honestly, Keandra, she was annoying. She was annoying. She was average, but she was annoying. Okay. um. So Keandra and Mariah were friends, right? Keandra and Mariah had the same math class together, right? um. Math class was over. I Math class was over. I not sat back, stayed back a while to talk to my friend Ronald. Because Ronald knew I liked Mariah. Ronald knew that I was thinking about asking her out, right? So me and Ronald stayed back, right? Ronald was trying to convince me to ask her out, right? And so Ronald convinced me. Right? I ran and I caught up with Mariah. She was walking with Keandra to her next class, right? I can't remember if Mariah knew if I liked her or not. I can't remember. I, it, I think she did though. I think she did. Um, but yeah, so uh, I asked her out. I caught up to her and I asked her out, right? And then I was paying attention, right? So what happened was both Mariah and Keandra, a big, big smile appeared on both of their faces, right? Keandra is tall, right? Keandra is tall, and Mariah was about my height, right? So a smile appeared on both of their faces, and they both looked at each other. And Mariah said that she'll think about it and let me know, right? And then I said okay, and then I stopped walking, just stood there, and let them walk off, right? I went back to Ronald. He was like walking behind us, watching the whole thing, right? This happened in the hallway, right? This happened in the middle of the hallway. We didn't like stop or anything. We were walking towards the next class. This happened in the middle of the hallway, in between classes, right? So like the hallway is packed, right? Um, Ronald was behind us, watching the whole thing, also walking to his next class. And so I asked her out, and Ronald, stopped walking and went back to Ronald, right? And I I said I did it. I asked her out. right? And Ronald said something like, even if she doesn't say yes, just be happy that you did it, you went through with it, right? And I had the biggest smile on my face, and yeah, that was that. So a couple weeks go by, and it's math class again. The end of the end of math class, and I it's so me and Ronald the bell just rang. Everyone basically left already. Me and Ronald basically stayed back for a while to like pack up and talk a bit, right? Mariah also stayed back a while, right? As I was leaving, Mariah said, "I only see you as a friend," right? And you know what? I wasn't really that. I acted like I was upset, but honestly, I wasn't really upset, right? Alright, I'm gonna say this now. I'm black. Alright? I'm black. I have like caramel. A little lighter in some parts of my body, but basically caramel skin. Okay? I'm black. Mariah was white. Okay? White, blonde hair, blue eyes. Okay? Your average white girl. Okay? So I kind of knew that she was gonna say no. I kind of knew that nothing was gonna come of this, you know. So I wasn't. I acted like I was upset, but I kind of wasn't. I kind of wasn't. I was honestly, I was expecting a no. I was expecting a no. So yeah. Um. So is that it for seventh grade? I think that's it for seventh grade. Let me think. I think that's it though. Let me think. I think that's it for seventh grade. Ooh, that was seventh grade. Ooh, okay. Seventh grade. So remember, I asked out Alice in sixth grade. Okay, by seventh grade, me and Alice were starting to like get acquainted with each other, right? There was no bad blood between us. There was no like awkwardness between us, right? We were friends, right? So this is, I think, sixth period, seventh period, I think. No, this is sixth period, I think. I'm pretty sure. This is either fifth or fifth period. Fifth period, because in seventh grade I had band in fourth period. Wait. Ooh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Lunch was after third period. After third period. Wait, no. After lunch, I go to fourth period. I go into this hallway, right? And then after fifth period, I go into that hallway. Band was fifth period. The English class or the language arts class I had with Alice was sixth period, and then art with Jared, Mary, and Kia was seventh period. Okay, so yeah, this language arts class, the language arts class I had with Alice was sixth period. Okay, so the teacher I had, oh my god, the teacher I had, she was Southern, right? Not it wasn't a thick Southern accent, but you could clearly, very clearly hear it. It wasn't that thick though. Um, I think her name was Gillespie. What she had a hyphenated last name, right? Hyphenated like um like when a woman gets married, right? She doesn't want to give up her last name, but she at the same time wants to take her husband's last name, right? She hyphenates it, right? So like um Michaela Jones Davis, right? Two last names hyphenated, right? That's what she had, right? One of her last names was Gillespie. I don't remember her first name. I don't remember her other last name, but one of her last names was Gillespie. Okay, so this teacher, she always had her classroom dark, always. She always had a dark classroom, right? She always kept on one of the she. Ooh, remember in school, right? Whenever the teacher had us watch something on the board, they turn off like there were like three light switches, right? They would turn off two light switches and keep the third one on, right? So like there's always two lights on, right? So that's what she did. She did that 24/7, right? In the morning all the way until in the afternoon until seventh period, right? She always had the two light switches off and always kept the one on. Okay, always. Um and I had this class with Alice, right? But something happened, right? Something happened. So she came to school one day, black eye, um what's it called? What's it called when you have like you know how the human eye has like the pupil in the middle and it has like white has the white membrane and like surrounding the pupil, right? There was like blood was filling up the white area of her eye. A blown out eye. I think that's what it's called. One day she came to school with that black eye and a blown out red eye, right? It wasn't pink eye. It was not an affection. It wasn't pink eye. Her right eye was my right, her left. It was black, right? It was bruised, like she got hit, and it was her eye was also blown out, right? Like she was like in a fight or something, right? I don't know exactly what happened. I think other people found out what happened, but I never asked. But I think it was something. Pause. Okay. So, but I think she got into a fight with one of her, like maybe a boyfriend or a husband. I think it was a husband. Um, she got arrested. Yeah, she got arrested. Um, she there was a mugshot. There was a mugshot. If you look up Gillespie mugshot, you'll see she always had her hair up in a bun. She was short, wore not as much makeup as Mariah, but you can clearly tell she was wearing makeup. Her skin, it was like it wasn't. She wasn't black. She was a southern white, but she had a tan. She had a tan. Okay. um, she also had blonde hair. So, yeah. That's it. I think that's it for seventh grade. I think that's it for seventh grade. Um. Ooh, wait. Okay, hold on. Backtrack. Sixth grade. Okay, seventh period, sixth grade. So seventh period, sixth grade. Oh god. Uh, so there were these twins. There were these twins at the school that I went to. They were popular twins, right? I said everyone else's name. They were Devin and Darius, right? They were twins. Okay, and Darius was in my seventh grade language arts class. Okay, the teacher, Mrs. Walters, I think. Um, okay. I always thought that there was something going on between Darius and Miss Walters. I always thought there was, like, at the beginning. At the beginning, I always thought there was, right? But then after they kind of died down, I was like, okay, yeah, there's something going on. But I remember this one time, Darius picked up Miss Walters and like carried her, like, like come on, you can't. After watching that, you can't tell me there's something going on. That you can't tell me. So, yeah. So anyway, that's all for sixth grade. That's all for. I think that's all for seventh grade. Um, eighth grade. Whole. Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second. Eighth grade. Wait, no. Hold on. Backtracking to seventh grade. So, two more things about seventh grade. Seventh grade, I had a earth and science class, right? Um, Seventh grade, I had an earth and science class, and my friend Ronald was in this class. Wait, no, he wasn't. That's civics. Um, Darian. Darian was in this class, and I sat at the back right of the classroom with Darian and this other girl, Fran- Francesca. uh, and one day, uh, the teacher had us go around the room and like do something, right? I forgot what it was, but the teacher had us go around the room and do something, right? It's kind of crazy that I signal to go around a bend, right? That wasn't like a actual term, right? That wasn't an intersection, right? It was just it was just a bend, right? I got points for signaling on going around a bend. I don't think you have to do that, but anyway. The teacher went around the room and um, the teacher went around the room and had us do something, right? When it came to my table, Darian didn't know what to say. Francesca didn't know what to say, right? And so Francesca and Darian. Oh, wait, no. Darian didn't want to say anything. Francesca didn't want to say anything, right? So Francesca and Darian started arguing with each other, right? You say it, you say it, no, you say it, no, you say it, right? I'm just sitting there. Um, I'm sitting next to Darian. Francesca is over there, right? So I'm just literally in the middle of these two arguing, right? Eventually, I come out and say blah 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 blah, right? I remember what I said. Holy shit! I said this was Earth and Science, so I said the brighter the star is, the hotter it is, right? The oh wait, brighter, right? I said something along those lines. The brighter the star is, the hotter it is. The bigger it is, the hotter it is. I said something along those lines, right? And the whole class just started like saying like, "What? That does not make any sense. Like, what, are you even paying attention?" I was like, "Bro, like these two are arguing. These two are ignoring the classroom, ignoring the teacher, and they're just arguing with themselves, right? At least I said something, you know. So yeah, that's that. And then civics. I had civics in seventh grade, of course. And Ronald was in my civics class, right? Oh wait, Ronald was in my civics class, and there's this girl in the class, Savannah, right? There's this one time, Ronald looked over at Savannah, right? Savannah said, what are you looking at?" Right? As she didn't say it in like a aggressive sort of way, right? She said it in a calming sort of way, right? After she said, "What are you looking at?" she then said, "You like what you see," right? So there might have been a thing going on between Savannah and Ronald, but I don't think there was. I think that was that. You know, I think that was that. I don't think anything else went on between them, right? So yeah, that's that. Okay, eighth grade now. So let me think. Eighth grade. Um, eighth grade. Nothing really happened eighth grade. Nothing really happened eighth grade. I was still in band. I hated it. I was in symphonic band. I think that's what it was. Symphonic. It was like a higher level of band, and I was not at that level. I was still at beginner level. Because I didn't care about learning the clarinet. I played the clarinet, but I didn't care about learning the clarinet. So um, yeah, I was a beginner level playing the clarinet, but I was in symphonic band, which is one step above. It went beginner, symphonic, and then concert, right? I was at I was in symphonic band, even though I was at a beginner level clarinet. Right? I just didn't care for it, right? um, Now this is the point. This is the point where, okay, remember I said I in seventh grade I became known as the snacks man, right? Or the snacks man, the food man. I always had like something on me, right? This was the point where Alice's friends started to catch on, right? They started to notice me giving her all of this stuff, Oreos, gummy bears, cookies. The cafeteria had cookies. The cafeteria sold cookies for $1, right? You get a bag of two cookies for $1, right? And Alice's friends started to catch on. I'd always give her stuff. I'd always give her gummy bears. I'd always give her Oreos. I'd always give her cookies. I'd always give her something every day. Every single day. I'd always give her something. Right? They started to catch on. Right? And then I remember one time I overheard, "You should ask him out. He's always giving you stuff. You should ask him out." So it became it got to a point where my table, my group of friends, and my table, um, me and Alice's table were like we were right next to each other, right? Like my wait, like really bus stops that are really close together. Hmm. Oh man. Um. Okay. So Florida Avenue. Interesting. So my table and Alice's table were like this, right? We were like across from each other, right? Like literally right next to each other, right? So it got to a point where Jared sat in seventh grade. Jared sat beside me, right? But in eighth grade, Jared sat in front of me, right? He sat across from me, right? It got to a point where, oh wait, no, no, oh my god. Okay, so I'm lying. Okay, Jared sat beside me, right? This other kid, Brandon, this Asian kid, Brandon, right? He sat across from me, right? It got to a point where Brandon would like Brandon would look up and would see all of the girls from Alice's table start to look at me, right? All of the girls from Alice's table would look at me and wait for me to give Alice whatever, right? Whether it be Oreos, whether it be gummy bears, whatever, right? This one time, um, I had my head down and Brandon was looking at me, right? Um, I saw Brandon look up and I saw his eyes moving from left to right, right? He was just looking at all of the girls just staring at me, waiting for me to give Alice the food, right? uh, man, man, those are some days. The last day of eighth grade, right? It's the end of the year. It's May. It's the last day of eighth grade, right? We're all going into high school now, right? Um, if they played "See You Again," we were in the cafeteria, right? The very last day of school, right? We were all in the cafeteria. I think it was like late May or early June. Everyone was in the cafeteria, right? Or everyone in my grade was in the cafeteria. They started playing "See You Again," right? "See You Again" by Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa, right? After the song started, right, the girls started to like walk around and like hug each other. Some of them even started crying, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see you again. We're going into high school. Oh my god, right? Anyway, uh, the girls were walking around, hugging each other, singing, crying, right? I saw these two guys, right? These two guys sitting, not standing, not sitting, standing. They were standing in not the middle, but like off to the left, right? And they were just looking around, right? They were just looking around at everything going on. They were talking, they were smiling, right? And then I look back over, right? And I see them do a handshake, you know, like um, so happy to be friends with you, bro. Um, I'm glad to be. I'm happy to have met you. You know, good luck in the future. And if I don't see you again, uh, well, shit, good luck. You know, that was an emotional time. That was an emotional time. time. Okay, I thought I lost my phone. I thought I lost my phone. So, this was also at the end of the year, right? Um, Troy, right? This kid Troy, right? Troy, he wasn't a bad kid, but he looks like the type of kid to. Troy wasn't a bad kid, but he looks like the type of boy that would be bad. You know, short, um, not bald, but like he always had a haircut. You know, I didn't know if he could like, I don't know if he just couldn't grow hair or if he always had a haircut, but he was like he seemingly always had a haircut, and he was a good kid. He was nice, but he looked like one of those kids that would just give you trouble, right? Even though he didn't give trouble, right? So it's at the end of the year. Troy was playing on my phone, right? He was playing a game. He was playing a game on my phone. At this time I had an iPhone Jesus. I think it was an 8. I think it was an 8. Right? This was back in 2019, right? Yeah, this is back in 2019, so I'm pretty sure it was an iPhone 8. So, Troy was playing a game on my iPhone, on my phone, and the bell rang, and I just left. I just left without getting my phone, right? And so, uh, so yeah, I left without getting my phone, and I realized next class, oh shit, I left my phone. I didn't realize it until next class, right? And so seventh period came, right? I'm watching the clock, waiting for seventh period to finally be over, right? And then someone knocks on the door. It's my band teacher, right? And she has my phone. Oh my god, thank God. Okay, my band teacher, Miss Tobin, Andrea Tobin. Okay, she how old? I think she's like 50s, maybe 60s. Um, she was great. She was great. I remember this one kid, Felipe. He played the sousaphone. I think it was the sousaphone. It wasn't the tuba. It wasn't the tuba. Well, yeah, tuba. It's like the tuba is a bronze instrument. It's made of bronze, but I think it's the sousaphone. I might be wrong. It starts with an E. I know that it starts with an E, but the sousaphone, or the instrument that he played, was smaller, and it was, I don't know if it was like made from silver or it was made from bronze but painted that color. But the sousaphone was, or at least the instrument that he played, was known as the little cousin to the tuba, right? The tuba was a big instrument that had a deep noise, right? The instrument that Felipe played was smaller than the tuba and made a sound that was a little lighter, but still pretty low. Okay, that's the instrument that he played. And Felipe, for a while, he was a good kid, right? He was nice. Everybody loved him, right? But then one day, this he crashed out. He crashed out. I don't know what happened. Maybe he was just in a bad mood that day. I don't know what happened at all, but one day he just crashed out. Um, he said to the teacher, um, "Why don't you go find yourself a coffin, you old fuck?" Right? He said that to the teacher, right? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're what's happening? You're a good kid. Where is this coming from? Now, maybe he was just tired of being the good kid, you know. But still, though, like, come on, man. Like, you don't got to do that, man. You don't got to do that. Um, but yeah. So, uh, eighth grade, last period, seventh period. It was advanced. I should probably get this done. One bus with a Gold Island advertisement. Put it on here. District level 3. Cool. Connect the districts. Gold Island and West Oak. Okay. One balanced route. Okay. So, one. Okay. Peak. Oh shit! Driver with the peaks. Oh wait, driver with the peaks at morning. At evening, the CNG bus. Peaks at evening. Wait. This is this evening. This is evening. So this is yeah. This peaks at evening then. Okay, so just drive with the CNG. Okay. Sure. Okay. So, okay. Later. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so 7th period, 8th grade, 7th period, science. This is physical science, I think. Pretty sure it's physical science. So my teacher, Miss Ferguson. I shouldn't say that first. Miss Ferguson. She is a good teacher. She is a good teacher. But what happened in the class? Oh, so awkward. Okay, I'm cringing. Okay, so basically, what did I? Did I miss a stop? All right, well, so what? Okay, so first of all, there's this girl Giovanna, right? And I had a friend Michael, right? Me and Michael were sitting at the same table. Me and Michael were sitting at the same table, right? I said to Michael, Giovanna is kind of hot, right? Right? Someone from Giovanna's table sat behind me, right? Someone from Giovanna's table overheard what I said, right? And and basically, it was so awkward. But basically, yeah, it was so awkward. But basically, Giovanna said thank you and went back to her work. It was so awkward. It was so awkward. I don't even know what happened. Someone overheard, but I don't remember what they said when they you know, they asked me like what I said, and I said nothing. But it was just awkward. Anyway, there's this. What was her name? Ooh, what was her name? It was Aunt something. It was Aunt something. It was not Andrea. It wasn't Athena. Anaya. It was Anaya. Okay, so this girl Anaya, she sat at my table, right? And I thought she was pretty hot. I thought she was pretty cute, right? And I told. What did I tell first? I told Michael, I think. Yeah, I think I told Michael first, and then fuck off. I told Michael first, and then I asked Michael, does Anaya have a boyfriend? Michael said that he doesn't know. Okay? There's this guy, Aiden, right? Aiden was kind of like, he was like, not the know-it-all, but he was the guy that everybody knew, right? He wasn't popular per se, but he was just the guy that everybody knew, right? Huh? What you mean? Morning and I'm stupid. That peaks. Drive route that peaks at morning and evening. I am stupid. Peaks at both morning and evening. That's night. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So Aiden, he wasn't necessarily popular. He was just the guy that everybody knew, right? That everybody talked to, right? So Aiden, I thought if anybody would know if she had a boyfriend or not, it was Aiden. I asked Aiden, and he said he didn't know. Shit. Okay. Well. Oh, you know what? Okay. So seventh period, right? Me and Michael are at the back corner of the class, right? Anaya and all of her friends are at the front of the class, right? Like basically surrounding her, right? By this time, Anaya knew I liked her. All of her friends knew I liked her. Even the teacher knew I liked her, right? The teacher knew that I liked Anaya, right? So me and Michael are at the back corner of the class, and everybody knew that I was going to eventually one day ask her out, right? So this one day, they all surrounded her, right? They all, ooh, it was Valentine's Day. It was Valentine's Day. Okay, yeah. So, they all thought that I said that I was going to ask her out on Valentine's or a couple days before Valentine's Day, right? Somehow that information got to Anaya, right? And so, one day, again, me and Michael in the corner of the classroom. Everybody was at the front of the classroom, surrounding Anaya, right? Kind of like a shield, right? So I'm talking to Michael, right? Michael's saying, go do it. I don't know because I'm saying I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't because earlier in the period, that same day, right? I overheard one of Anaya's friends say something about a boyfriend, right? And I heard that, but I didn't process it, right? So, um, even though I heard them talk about a boyfriend, I didn't process it like, oh, maybe they're talking about Anaya's boyfriend, you know? So they thought that he heard us talking about Anaya's boyfriend. Maybe he won't ask her out, right? They were wrong. I still did it. Um, so I get so class ends, right? Everybody leaves, right? I walk out. I walk out the hallway and I see Aiden. I ask Aiden, do you know if Anaya has a boyfriend or not? He says he doesn't know, right? I see Anaya across the courtyard, right? I say, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it, right? I run to Anaya and I ask her out, right? She says, I have a boyfriend, right? I yell out, fuck, and say, okay, bye, see you tomorrow, right? And I walk off, right? Now, when I get home, I'm depressed, man. I'm depressed because by this time I had asked out three girls. By this time, including excluding Anaya, I had asked out three girls, right? I asked out. Wait, did I ask her out? I didn't. One girl. Wait, did I? No, I didn't. Sophia. I don't think I asked her out. I think I she found out that I liked her, but I didn't ask her out. I didn't ask her out though. I didn't. Okay, so by this time I had only asked out one other girl. That was Alice. Okay. But so I asked out Alice. I asked out Alice. I liked Sophia and I liked Kia, right? But but um, that picture, that picture. But Anaya was the only girl that I thought I had a genuine chance with. Oh, I asked out Mariah too. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. So yeah, out of all of the girls up till this point, right? The end of the year, 8th grade, 2019, right? Like May, not May, February, right? February 2019, right? I'm in 8th grade, right? Seventh period in school, okay? Up until this point, I had liked many different girls, but up until this point, Anaya was the only girl that I thought I had a genuine chance with, right? Yeah, I liked Sophia, but I don't think that ever happened. I don't think that would ever happen. Yeah, I asked out Alice, but I don't think that would ever happen, right? I asked out Mariah, but I don't think that ever happened, right? Anaya was the only girl that I thought I actually had a decent chance with. She was the only girl that I thought would actually say yes. Come to find out, she already has a boyfriend, right? So after I ask her out, I'm at home and I'm just in a depressive state, right? I'm in a depressive state. I'm sitting in my bed, looking down, face all sad, face looking all sad, right? And I'm just like silent, right? I go to school the next day. I'm just silent. Like, I have my head down on the table, right? I have my hoodie over my head. I'm just silent, right? So, and that was the only girl that I thought I had a good chance with. So, and when she said no, I just shut down. So, yeah. So, this was seventh grade. Yeah. So back to seventh grade for a second. Uh, in seventh grade, at the end of the year, me, Kia, Mariah, no, not Mariah, me, Kia, Mary, and Jared, right? We all tried to act something out, right? We all tried to act something out. And I forgot what we were trying to act out, but we were trying to act something out, and we said, you know what, screw this, let's just all take a group picture, right? Because Mary was moving, right? She was moving to Maine, right? Take a look at the map, right? Try to find Maine, the state of Maine, right? Maine is all the way up in the northeast of the U.S., right? Past Pennsylvania, past New York, going past Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont. It's like the I don't think it's the north. I don't think it's the most. It's the Massachusetts. No, Maine is the northeasternmost state. I don't think it's the. I don't think no. Alaska is the northernmost state, but Maine is the northeasternmost state, right? So she moved from Florida to Maine. First of all, the culture shock, right? I mean, wait. Well, first of all, the change in temperature from Florida to Maine, bro, from hot year round to constant cold year round. Okay, the change in temperature must have been like massive. Okay, obviously, but then also the culture shock. Right? Think about it. From Florida to Maine, right? I mean, Florida has a lot of black people, right? Florida has a lot of black people, a lot of brown people, a lot of like diversity, right? But Maine, it's like basically all white people, basically, right? I think like probably like I think Maine has the lowest concentration of black people, not in the world, but in America. Maine is one of the it might not be the state, but it's one of the states with the lowest percentage of black people, right? Because no black person is gonna live in Maine, right? No way. Maybe, but not me. Um, so yeah, from Florida to Maine, that is like the difference in everything, basically, right? So yeah, we all took a picture. Me, Jared, Kia, and Mary, we all took a picture, and unfortunately, I no longer have that picture. Unfortunately, but yeah, we all took a picture. So yeah, um, so I have to do this. Driver route that picks up morning and evening. Okay. Wait, we'll just find a route that tonight. Think of my morning and evening. That's morning. That's morning. Uh, that's evening. And that's evening. Okay. With the CNG bus. Wait. Okay. Okay. Um. Was he wearing a mask? Interesting. So I think that's it. I think that's all my middle school stories. Let me. Okay, I'm going to go silent for a few minutes. I'm just gonna try to think of more stories. I think that's it. Oh my god. This girl, Amanda, she was so hot. This girl, wait, nah. Okay, so this. Wait. Wow, that's seventh. Wait, is that 8th grade? That's 7th grade. That's 7th grade, I think. I think that is 7th grade. Yeah. That. Wait. Okay. U.S. history. I can't remember if U.S. history was in middle school. I can't remember if it's 7th or 8th grade. I think it's 7th grade. I think it's 7th grade for U.S. history. You get U.S. history in 2 parts, right? The first part in, I think it's 7th grade, and the second part of U.S. history in junior year of high school. I think it's 7th grade. If it was 7th grade, then what did I have in 8th grade? What did I have in 8th grade then? Wait. That's not really it. That's not a story. That's something that happened. I fell. I was running to class, and I fell, and I fell onto I fell onto my knee, right? And this was when I already had like not a scar, but like a wound on my knee, right? And so like I fell onto this wound, and so it just like worsened the wound. So I cried. Um that was 7th grade. I was so cringe, man. I was so cringe. I think that's it. I was so good at U.S. history, man. I was amazing at U.S. history. I still am. In my U.S. history class, there's this guy, David. Me and him were basically like fighting over the top spot in the class. So but I think he ended up winning. So I think that's it. I think that's all my middle school stories. Alright, cool. That's it. Next up is high school, and oh, that is not. High school isn't that bad. I don't really have any stories. Oh, because you know what? COVID. Yeah. I don't have many stories for high school because COVID just like messed everything up. So what do you? Okay. Yeah. Next step is high school. So, I'm going to finish this route first, and then end the video. I don't want this video to be too. Bro. What? I was already across the walk, but I was already across the walk when you just okay. See again, one of the things I hate about this game, bro. I know, like, I'm causing most of the problems, but come on, man. I was already over the wall. See what I'm saying? The mouse steering just gives you so much more control. Like look at this smooth turning, right? See, if you use A and W, right? First of all, the turning is so slow, and second of all, you have to constantly tap A to like keep turning left. Like, come on, man, so much better. I drove the route, bro. What? I drove the route. All right, I said I would. All right, let's see how long this video is. Last time I saw it was at an hour 14. 2 hours 24 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, yeah, that's my middle school story time. Next video, high school story time. And yeah, there's really not much there. But anyway, peace.